Hello, everyone, and welcome to World of Revilo, Age of Discovery, Fate, Season 1, Episode 3. On tonight's adventure, we have, below me, we have Isaac. Up in the corner, we have Eric. We have Heath down in the other corner, and I'm Brian. We are going to jump in, and I'll give a little quick recap about last episode, and then we will go ahead and get into play. In the last episode, we had Galron, Heath's character. We had Erzor, Isaac's character, and we had Xenos, Alan's character, who can't make it tonight, and they were combating some unliving, and then managed to capture an outlander that had lured them into the Forest of the Dead, and they had pulled him into this hollowed-out tree where they had tied him up and were interrogating him. When we last left everyone, they were trying to decide what they were going to do, because they had originally planned on going to the Great Conclave, which happens to be in the Icy Divide, quite a travel from here, and they were trying to decide how they wanted to get out of the Forest of the Dead and what they would do to get there. All right, so, and the Duke had been pulled underground by, as the ground opened up. He and Kolb, who I think is just joining us now, the ground opened up beneath them, almost like roots were separating. And as the ground pulled them down, it seamed back up, almost just kind of fused back together. And nope. And fused back together, and they were just disappeared. They were just gone. You guys are in the tree. Had you decided what you were going to do next?
That was what we were discussing.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where we ended it. You were trying to decide how you were going to get to the Icy Divide for the Great Conclave, and you also had known that the Outlanders had lured you in because they really wanted to capture the Duke and take him back for the ransom that was on his head,
right,
or the price that was on his head.
Right, and we've got Yurt with us.
Yes,
I believe
you have
Yurt, the one who was dead.
He's
Yep.
tied up, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you feel a strange, like, scraping at your feet. Almost like there's something trying to, like poke its way up from the ground underneath of you.
I shone light on it, because that's been working well for me.
Right. And that was... And the Duke, you start to see even more of the blue light kind of coming through the dirt in between the roots that you're kind of trying to poke your way through.
Okay.
Okay, well, I stand back to look, ready to see what comes out with a weapon in hand.
There's stuff moving.
So like
cautious, I guess.
Yeah.
I just saw the ground eat guys, right? So
right. That was like in the matter of like it was probably about 30 minutes total with all the fighting and then coming back in the interrogation.
I might not have noticed it, though. I might not have seen that being in the cart and all. So I think I'm more intrigued with the movement of the roots.
Gotcha. Well, so the moods
aren't...
aren't...
trying to get off of something, because I'm afraid if it's going to eat us, or eat me, if I can get away from it.
Yeah.
So like within this tree, there's... Especially you, Galaron, because you're used to climbing around in the trees and around them, you could easily scale up part of the interior and just kind of watch the ground kind of moving below you. Now, the Duke and Kolb, you are together, and I'm guessing Kolb is trying to use some sort of alchemy to try and make some of the earth that's above your head open up to get out from underneath of you, because as you're nearing this blue light, you can start to see some eyes, multiple eyes of creatures coming up behind you. Like, it's almost like, okay, now they know that you're in these tunnels, but beneath the Forest of the Dead. So you start to get the feeling that you should probably dig up faster than slower.
Cole, dig faster.
Cole creates some sort of little explosion almost, not enough to come back in your face, but enough to blow things up. And inside the tree, a bunch of dirt blows up. Yurt falls over and lands on his ass. And there's a big enough space for all of a sudden, Galron, you recognize the Duke and Cole coming up out of the dirt, and Erzor, you would not have seen these folks before because you were indeed in the cart.
Right.
And as you guys pull yourself out, the ground beneath you starts to heal itself and go back to covering up the hole that's below, just as you kind of start to feel something trying to grab at your feet, the Duke.
Where have you guys been?
Oh, who are you?
Underground.
Who are you guys? Underground. That's
In a tunnel.
That is indeed where you came from, so I believe you.
Climbing towards the light. Am I alive?
Are you alive? This is the light.
And he shows you a vial that's hanging around his neck. That's a very almost like glow stick blue. That's kind of radiating even more light to help in the darkness inside the tree.
I'm gonna go slap Kolb on the back. It's good to see you. What happened down there?
We got completely pulled under, and it was very, very strange because it's like these tunnels just kind of formed on their own. They kept opening and moving and shifting and changing, and there were definitely other things down there, but I don't know why we were pulled down there. And it's not anything I've ever heard of before, even with all of my travels, and I know of the tunnels that go through underneath the Forest of the Dead that the people got out of the Valley of Despair and made their way out for all of the for the trade routes, but this was something completely different, something a little more menacing.
Menacing.
And dirty.
Definitely dirty. Definitely dirty.
I believe you.
As he brushes some of the soil off his shirt.
Changes the monocle's eye.
Now, Kolb is a red goblin, if I remember right.
He is indeed. Here, I will show
You
you
are
just.
Yes. I've seen your kind. Yes, I've never seen one of your hue, though.
No, that is something that no one has ever seen. I am an anomaly.
Interesting.
For those of
I
you
must
following
document
along,
this.
what's that? Go ahead.
I must document this. Yeah.
Don't look too long. So what happened up here?
Krog is dead, but we found out through Yurt here that they were after the Duke.
After the Duke? That's certainly
They have some business.
After this one. Yes?
Yes, after this one. This is the Duke they were
clarifying.
after. So they tried to lure him. They lure us all into the forest in order to settle a score with the Duke from, I suppose it was some years ago.
Or just make some coin off of the Duke's head. Am I correct in understanding that?
Yeah, they were taking him to another person, right?
There was like a wanted poster from
nice.
Merk's Hollow from Baron Merk von Horvath.
Okay.
Yeah, that's because I'd snagged that. I'd found it and snagged it. And tried to hide it.
Yep, and I'd had it fall out because I couldn't remember that it was in your pocket, so it fell out, and so that's kind of how the whole storyline went along. As you were sucked underground, it fell out of your pocket, and they stumbled upon it.
But I'm wondering here about what our situation is, like any type of authority or legal situation here. Like, who was it that's put out the wanted sign? Is it like a legitimate authority? Or, I mean, we got this guy tied up. I mean, what were we thinking that we should do with him? I mean, 'cause we got other places to be.
right, totally.
I just leave him here.
Yep. So, in game, this guy Merk von Horvath took over a town called Crookstooth and renamed it after himself. It's like the Outlanders moved in, they started building on next to Crookstooth, and they essentially staged a coup and took over. And so now he kind of runs the town, and he's even minted his own coins. Like he's been established now for a little while. So there would be a bounty just there, but there's a lot of resistance to this kind of this takeover. There's even resistance within the city itself. So, like Kolb has been running with the Duke for a while, so he wouldn't have any real inclination to go back to Merk's Hollow or like any interest in really turning him in for anything. And
this is well known that this has occurred, like throughout Revilo. Everyone knows.
Yes, everyone knows that this happened because this has happened a couple years ago, and everybody knows that there is a resistance. Well, it's pretty well known amongst most folks that there is a resistance forming to try and fight back.
Okay. So who is going to have a problem with us having this guy as a captive?
Just probably people in Merk's Hollow. Some people in Merk's Hollow, the authorities there, but throughout the rest of Revilo, nobody's probably going to...
Nobody's going to care.
People might be like, why do you have somebody tied up? But just like if you're walking down the street with somebody tied up now, it'd be like a little disconcerting, but... Okay. So you guys are in the tree.
He can afford high-quality inks. I have the wanted poster.
Nice. Excellent.
Yeah.
It was all really just a big misunderstanding.
But so there's nobody for us to turn him into, like a sheriff or anything, who's going to care about that either.
No. So, like, let's see.
I am to the tree.
That is a death sentence. I didn't say it wasn't a good idea. I just said it was a death sentence.
So right now,
ground will eat him.
You're about here in the Forest of the Dead. And so if you going all the way to Merk's Hollow, there's nobody to that's where he would be trying to go to.
Oh, that's a while away.
Yeah, exactly. And there's nobody like in the Valley of Despair or even the Waiju or the Floating Forest that would really want this Outlander. Like nothing's really going to. There's not really going to be anything that you would be able to turn him into that would press any sort of charges or anything or any law about him.
Well, he's not a good person. He bonked me on the head.
Not a good person. I'm just trying to get by in this strange land.
You hit me on the head and put me in your cart.
You wouldn't stop talking about how wrong our plants are and what's is up with us and why we shouldn't be here.
Well, I don't think you deserve death for that. You're an asshole, but you're not the worst asshole.
How about this? You just let me go, and I will go on my way and try and make it out of this forest alive.
Should we disarm him?
I say we tie him to the tree.
Tie me to the tree. Those fiends, though, they will come after me and start chewing on my legs.
That concerns me. Why?
That's a bit rash.
I don't think we can leave him here to die.
No, it's not right. Like I say, he's an asshole, but he's not the worst asshole.
I know. You take everything into the wagon and you let me go.
Oh, it's gone, brother. It's gone.
I will show you how to put the wheels back on and you can have the wagon. It's very fine craftsmanship.
What direction are we trying to go from here?
Can I?
You're trying to go like northeast. Many days travel.
Northeast.
We're trying to get to Icy Divide, right?
Yes.
That's what we said. Cool.
Because that is where the Great Conclave is. That is happening.
We must go to the Reaper Convention. Conclave. Conclave is the word.
Okay.
Mark it out in my book and rewrite it.
Well, I was going to say that I was trying to think.
So
we take him with us. We tie him to the back of the cart, and as long as he can keep up, he can come with us.
Tie me to the back of the cart and walk behind?
Why
and have my hands bound?
We can make him pull the cart. We don't have anything to do that.
I will pull the cart.
You will pull the cart.
I will pull the cart.
Okay.
I will tell you stories of my homeland. I'm sure you, the Duke, will be able to tell many tales as well. It will be good times. I'm sure that we will become good friends by the time we are done.
What do you want to do with Krog?
Tie him behind.
Krog is dead.
Oh.
I think we can just kind of leave him, right? He's got friends now.
Are there funeral customs?
Our new companion needs something to eat.
I will not eat my friend.
Are you?
That is
Are you insinuating that he eats his friend?
Are there funeral customs that need to be observed, or funeral rites?
There are, but after I've
we
seen
dig
what
a
I've
hole
seen
and drop him in.
Yes, after I've seen what is done in the forest with the creatures there, I do not want to stick around too long.
Fair enough.
All right.
So you guys are gonna go out of the tree, repair the cart,
Stay silent.
And stay very silent. Excellent.
I need
Hello and welcome.
Oh, hi.
Hey, Cole.
Guys, I am so sorry. I had to run a few errands, but I came with the goods.
Oh, awesome. Excellent. How many are in each bag?
I think 100, roughly.
Awesome.
But I've got a whole box worth.
Excellent.
Cool.
So, quick recap for you. You and the Duke had been pulled underground at the end of the 2 episodes ago. The ground opened up, and Galaron tried to grab you guys and roll you under like a tree root to try and hide from these outlanders, or from some unliving that were there. And the ground opened up and sucked you down below. At the beginning of this episode, you and the Duke came up through underneath a tree through these, because the tunnels that were under there were not naturally forming. It's like they were alive almost, but you could see a slight blue luminescence up above, and you dug your way out. You made some explosions and blew up some ground and climbed up, and there was Erzor, who had this like little vial on his chest that was glowing a blue light that was that gave you a place to be guided to. Since then, you've been trying to discuss what to do with this guy that's tied up, Yurt, one of the Outlanders that lured you into the Forest of the Dead, because he was really trying to come and get the Duke, because there's a bounty on Duke's head in Merc's Hollow. You've just decided to have him get the wagon, and you're going to make him haul the wagon behind as you guys head to the Icy Divide.
Brian, I hate to do this to you. I just got noticed that I got to take this call in 5-10 minutes.
Gotcha. No worries. You want to stick around for 5 minutes, or you want to go ahead and bounce? And
I'll stick around until they call.
Okay, sounds good. So you guys had just decided you were in this giant hollowed out tree, hiding from unliving that might be lurking in the Forest of the Dead. I assume one of you is going to kind of poke your head out and look, make sure the coast is clear before going.
I'll do that.
Oh, and Galaron, you're very familiar with this area since growing up in the Forest of the Dead. So you go ahead and poke your head out, and you see that there doesn't really seem to be any sort of movement that you can sense. So you go ahead and signal to the others to come out. And since then, everybody has pretty much learned that you really don't say anything if you can avoid speaking at all within the Forest of the Dead. So you're just kind of motioning, using hoping that they will be able to pick up on the sign language that you use in the forest. You make your way over to the cart, and Yurt is like, okay, somebody pick up the wheel.
You're somebody. Pick up the wheel.
And he goes and starts picking it up and putting it on. And starts at, he shows a pin and shows like how you put the pins in to get these wheels working right, and how easily they must have taken the wheels off to make it look like it was broken down. And within just a couple of minutes, he has the cart back together and starts hauling it. You guys start heading kind of northeast out as you're working your way through the Forest of the Dead to try and get out and make your way out to where there's some sunlight. As you're doing this, you start to feel little bits of rain. It's almost like it's nighttime, but even though normally like the canopy of the forest is completely sealed off as everything is intertwined, it seems to be opening itself up to allow some of this rain to come in. And you're starting to hear noises as the water drops and splatters, and it's almost like now it's starting to make you feel a little more paranoid because you're hearing noise where you wouldn't have heard any noise at all because the forest is so like deathly silent. And now you're hearing little drops and blips and drops and blips, and you guys keep moving along. And off in the distance, after about an hour, you see movement, but it's moving at a slow enough pace, far enough away that you don't feel like it's going to catch up with you. Whether it is unliving or more leopods or even some grinatars that might happen to live in the Forest of the Dead. And after just a little bit longer, you can almost start to feel a little bit of fresh air, almost like you might be getting towards the edge of the forest because it's not feeling so trapped in.
Okay.
And
all this while,
as soon
yes, I was going to say Urzor is examining his newfound, I guess, this powerful artifact, seemingly to him, that he has unlocked. He's unlocked some sort of power from it.
Gotcha. The vial that's on.
I'm looking
okay.
at my vial. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I guess also the contents of the cart, because that's important.
As
we have.
What's that?
Yeah. I said it depends on how long we have.
Okay. As you're getting closer towards what you believe is the edge, as you're just kind of looking at it, you start to feel like branches are starting to come in more just towards you, and it's like you're having to push them away as they start to like. It's almost like the branches are working like fingers and hands, almost trying to take away the light that's around your chest.
So I get the sense that there are actually it's trying to take it from me.
Almost giving you that sensation, yeah, because it keeps happening. Nobody else is having branches come anywhere near them. It's like they're naturally going in blocking your way.
After about the 7th or 8th time, 10th time, I don't know. I would stow it, I think.
Okay.
Do I notice this? Do I
yeah.
realize what's going on?
Everybody else doing, yeah.
Yeah, after a little while, you start to notice that branches are just kind of getting in Erzor's way, and that like they just keep kind of
branches.
So. And for Erzor is a Sorcia. He's about 3.5-ish feet tall, mole person looking character. So like it's almost like some of the lower branches are just keep like smacking him in the chest, and you can't tell at first if they're like if it's just coincidence or if something's like actually trying to grab this thing off of his chest.
The vial from his chest?
Yeah.
This forest wants this vial. I don't understand it. I need to put it away.
Shh.
Sorry.
I roll terrible, so nothing happened.
Excellent.
But it keeps kind of once you put it away, the branches start to move apart and don't keep coming for you.
Mm-hmm.
So you continue through, and you finally manage to get to the edge of the forest without any other encounters with unliving. You're now able to breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief, and it doesn't feel anywhere near as tense. As soon as you get outside of the forest, you can see the sky up. It's nice and bright. There's lots of stars out this evening. The moons are out. Ahead of you, you can see a kind of grassy plainish area with speckled trees off in the distance, and you know not too far away the desert will begin as the plains end. Now,
How long are we expecting this journey to take?
It will take probably, let's see, share screen. So, let's see. Traveling from right around here in the Valley of Despair and going all the way across. Can you see my mouse? Yeah.
Yes.
Going all the way across here to the Icy Divide. That's probably going to take about 5 days journey.
Oh, okay.
We must pass through my homeland. I was raised here.
In the wave? Or
It's the Waiju.
The Waiju.
Waiju Desert,
Yeah.
yes.
So you know your way through the desert then?
Wouldn't call it that far. I'm familiar with the terrain.
Should
I
we
spend most of my time in the archives, you see.
should we go south and edge the Waiju along the floating river, along the river that surrounds the floating forest?
How
And-
difficult would how difficult would it be to cross the Waiju? I would know that.
It's not that it would be difficult, it would just be kind of desolate. Because most of the entrances, like the larger cities, are kind of more up towards the center area. So there are some tunnels here that would then take you down underneath, but it would just be kind of like going through just kind of barren desert. There's like some lizards and things like that, and some cactus-like plants and that sort of thing, but there isn't a whole lot going on. Definitely going down along the river area, you'll probably encounter a lot more people that are actually traveling towards the Great Conclave, because there are roads there that are meant to travel. There's also people that would probably be traveling by boat.
Isn't this the
going
area
up
that
that
we
way.
heard of? Isn't this the area that we heard of, like sandworms and stuff like that?
Yes, so the Waiju has, like, all the tunnels there have been created by giant sandworms,
Yeah.
the Livna, and then, like, Erzor, the Sorcio, they all have built giant mechanical cities, very steampunk-like cities, in some of the hollowed-out sections there, connecting a whole bunch of the different emptied tunnels together, so...
Okay.
Well, I think we should
Yes. What do you think?
go down the roadway. I think we should probably.
It depends on how many people you would like to run across. We can go across the desert. We might run across sandworms, but we wouldn't run across many people.
Well, you're the expert.
Oh, don't call me that. The road is probably safer if you trust people.
Okay, so...
I think we should let our friend go.
You should let me go? I think that would be great. I mean,
You do
I would much...
realize that they rigged up the cart to look like it was broken down, and he basically sacrificed the rest of his friends.
I did
And
not
he
sacrifice my friends. Something
you
happened.
make such a lovely
They're not here to
jackass.
say otherwise.
No, look at me. You can trust my face. I would not lie. They were there.
Ill.
They must have been attacked by some of that nasty things that lived in the forest.
And if you hadn't come up with the plan to wait in the forest, they wouldn't be dead.
I did not come up with the plan. I was just kind of going along with my friends. They were ready. They wanted to. They needed some money. It's hard to make it here.
Should we ask them?
Should you ask them? If you want to go back into that forest and try and ask a dead body,
Where will you
They
go?
can't argue.
where will I go from here?
Time to
Where
attack.
would you go if we?
Where will you go?
I don't know. Where do you? I guess I have not been south. I could try that and see what where that finds me. I've heard interesting things about the floating forest. And he looks over to the right and sees, like, way off in the distance, a giant landmass kind of blocking some of the moonlight as it just kind of floats high up in the sky.
Yes, I've visited there. It's interesting.
Still say we time to a tree.
If you tie me to a tree, please do it far away from this forest. Go at least towards the river and tie me up, or Yes, not the desert. Please, not the desert. How about this? How about we just keep going? I think I see some things coming out of the forest. We should keep moving. And he starts walking with the cart.
He's right. We should keep moving.
All right. Well, if he's going with us, then all right. Well, then we'll keep going.
For now.
Thank you for not tying me up to these trees. So, what do you know about the waterway that travels down and up to the where you're going?
It's wet.
I think that Colby, you probably know a fair amount of this just from traveling and the merchant type things that you've been doing. So you know that there's a lot of kind of like small barges that travel on this river going up and down, so that goods could be traded, and especially right now with the great conclave about to happen, it's going to be very busy. There's going to be a lot of people traveling up that way to try and get their harvest, the things that they make up in front of a lot more folks.
Well, so do we want to stop and ask for directions, safe passage, keep going?
I think you would pretty much know that you could just keep going, traveling. You're going to travel eastbound for a day ish, and then once you hit the river, there will be road there, and you'll just keep traveling north.
Yes, okay. Just follow the signs. You'll get there.
So you guys keep walking for a while. It is nighttime now. Sure. I don't know if you guys want to keep traveling through the night or just make a fair distance outside of the Forest of the Dead so that any of the wandering unliving don't come upon you.
I don't think we're in that big a hurry that we have to just keep going.
Yeah, there's no rush, right?
So
it seems unwise to travel at night.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you don't have to. There's no big rush. The conclave was starting in about 4 days. So, but it goes for a while, so you don't have to be there right when it starts. So,
okay.
So you guys are going to set up camp.
Yeah, well, let's camp.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's camp it.
So you know that you don't want to be just right on the edge of the Forest of the Dead because since the magic has been waning and the unliving have been wandering out more and more in each direction as.
I gotta take this, guys. Sorry.
Okay. Yep. The magic has been wandering out. Or the magic has been waning. The unliving have been kind of wandering out at night and during the day a little bit more. So you get just far enough away that if anything starts coming your way, you'll be able to see it and have enough time to prepare for it. The breeze is cool. There's birds that you hear now. There's sounds at night that you hear after being in the Forest of the Dead. It's nice to know that there's things that are moving and living. Crickets are chirping, things like that.
I have a dilemma for us. I noticed that the unliving had a very great distaste for this object around my neck. I could set it up and perhaps create a barrier. Not a barrier, just dissuade them from coming near, but it would be a light showing our position.
Oh, what is this vial?
I'm not sure. It's been in my family for generations. I've, up to this point, just used it for reading.
Oh.
And I show it to him. What have I gleaned from this? Have I figured anything out?
Whatever you want to have gleaned from it. Yeah, you can say whatever you think your character would have known from it.
Okay. Well, it's obviously some very powerful alchemical fluid that when I focus, I don't know why it works when I think about it, but it totally works when I think about it. We must do more experiments.
Let's see. What sort of lore do you have, Galron?
Well, I have just average lore +1, but I may take +2 on lore checks that are specifically about mysticism.
Okay.
I mean, I have great lore.
Or I guess it's an additional +2 because it's a stunt.
Okay. So roll the lore check and just let me know what you get. I'm gonna say I think it's gonna be a good difficulty. No, I'll do fair. So it's against a 2.
Well, that's not bad. I rolled a 1. So if it's for mysticism, then I rolled a 4.
Okay. So
if it's not, then I just rolled a 2.
Okay. So if you rolled a 4, you succeeded by 2. Let's say it's because it is mysticism in a way. Something about it makes you think of knowing about the gods and knowing that Scintilium is the god of light and renewal, and especially after seeing the brightness shine, you think it has something to do. It might be some sort of artifact to do with that god.
Okay. Well, I'll relate that information. So this could have to do with the god of light, Scintilium, right?
Yes.
Did I get the name?
Scintilium.
Yep.
Scintilium, and possibly an artifact of his.
His. Yes, I believe I've heard of Scintilium before, read about it. Him, her. I don't think they really concern themselves with gender. I would know something of Scintilium, having been in the archives for ages. Yeah.
Right. So you would know at least a bit about it, and especially if you studied up on history at all of the world, you would know a bit about Scintilium and that being one of the children of Credona and being one of the main gods. That is currently in hibernation. Whether or not you believe it or not, that's totally up to your character. So.
Yes, I remember those stories. They're good stories. Good morals, I don't know what happened. Yes, sorry?
I can't believe you people have so many gods.
Oh.
He's
I can't believe jackasses can talk.
So what is a jackass? We don't have that in my world, in my land.
It is someone who pulls a cart.
Huh. Well, I am pulling the cart, I guess. So he, since you guys are hunkering down, he's like, "Do you mind if I have one of the blankets that was in the cart? I know I promised you everything from the cart, but it is a little bit chilly."
It's very cold.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
I mean,
Thank you.
He won't be here when we wake up.
Where will I be? I've got nowhere to go.
Somewhere else.
Do you guys have any food?
Do we have?
I told you.
My stomach.
We were fairly well provisioned, I believe. We provisioned before we left the.
You did. You got a bunch of food out of the. And he even saw you guys loading up with food, because remember you were like, put it on his tab. So
right. That's right.
So he knows you guys have food. He's just
it's his food.
That's right. Well, it was on your tab. So whatever.
So no, we don't.
But I saw. Did you lose it? Did you lose it down when you were pulled down into the dirt? I know you must be hungry too.
Yes, I fed it to the worms.
Do you want me to go and see if I can hunt some sort of small game? Do any of you have a bow?
That's a great idea.
The ranger guy does.
Yeah, but I'm not sending it with him.
Do we really want to arm this man?
Do we really want to untie him?
We don't want. I mean,
well, I thought he was kind of untied. How is he pulling the cart if he's not?
Yeah, he's got. He
must be able to walk, and he must be able to.
Urzor has been leading him. Has been like driving him forward. He's got a yoke on and a harness.
Nice. Maybe his legs are tied together with some rope in between, so he can't so he can still walk, but he just can't really get a really good stride.
He's hobbled. Yeah.
Yep.
I would have voted around the neck, but.
The Duke. I don't know what you did to make Merc the Baron so angry.
It was a big misunderstanding. It was all his fault.
I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was. So no food, huh? All right, I will get some sleep. But if I don't eat tonight, I'm gonna run out of energy tomorrow when I'm trying to pull
We
this
should
cart.
feed him. You guys stole it. You guys put the
I
food on his back.
I've got my food with me, so I'll share a portion of whatever the kind of ration is that we've got for dinner.
Oh, thank you. He eats a little bit of the dried jerky-like meat that you give him.
Urzor goes through the bag and the cart and smells things and tries to decide if they're good to eat.
Okay. There are some dried herbs and some dried like fungus that would be in there, like dried mushroom type things.
That's risky. That's a risky.
It's a risk. I would not.
Urzor smells the mushrooms and asks, "Dude, what manner are these fungus?"
They're
Those
for
are magic.
they're medicinal. Yeah. Yes. I would not.
Are they
I would
good
not.
to eat?
For certain things, but not to fill you up. No.
No. Thank you for your honesty.
But they will get you a fair amount of money up at the bazaar.
I put them back in my bag.
So, Galron, I don't think I've seen anyone like you until I was in the forest. I mean, what? Why do you wear a bone mask? I can't remember if your character wears one or not.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay. Why the mask of bone that's on your face? Do you ever take it off?
Certainly not when within the forest of the dead. They help to disguise us among the unliving.
Interesting. That is good to know. I wish I would have had one of those. I wish my friends would have had one of those. But it's probably better for the Duke that they did not. He eats his stuff and then just kind of curls up under the cart and goes to sleep. He seems pretty worn out from the Forest of the Dead and from hauling the cart.
Hauling the cart many miles. Yes.
Are you guys just gonna all go to sleep?
Well, I guess we should probably watch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we'll put together an order for a watch.
Okay.
Okay.
Who's going to take first watch?
I'm not very observant, but I volunteer.
All right, take first watch.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll take last watch. Be up early in the morning.
The Duke, do you want to be second or next to last?
I guess next to last.
Okay. And then that puts Kolb as second.
Okay.
And then you hear to pipe up. If you want me to watch, I can. And then he quickly falls back asleep.
That's quite all right. You know we can't just keep making him pull the cart. He won't last long. He's not really a jackass, even though he thinks he is.
No, we can't.
All right.
I think he's
Do I need to roll something, or
Not yet.
going
No.
to be harmless.
Okay.
So you guys eat some of the food that you have. I'm guessing you made a fire of some sort,
Did we?
Yeah.
or did you not? It's totally up to you.
cold, right?
It's getting
it's-
cooler at night, and
Okay.
close to the desert, it just gets cooler up there. This time of year in the evening, enough that you could be fine without it. It'd just be a little bit chilly, especially as it gets to the early morning hours.
Urzor probably made a fire, or went to, and if no one stopped him, made a fire. Yeah.
And if it's chilly in the morning, then I'd stoke it when I wake up for my
Okay.
shift.
So everything goes all right on your watch. Urzor Kolb's watch goes okay. The Duke, will you make a notice roll? We will give that a 3, a good,
Yeah.
against a good. What's that? You got a 5?
So I ended up with a whatever my score is.
Neutral.
Let's see. You have a 2 score? Okay. So you're sitting watching. Everything seems to be going all right. You've got a fire going. And then... hang on just 1 second. Nope, wrong thing. Let's see. Share my screen. All of a sudden, like almost like out of nowhere, right up next to you, is a persinnolite that's a bluish color, like the one that's in the photograph versus the illustration. He sits up. He's about 4.5 feet tall. He seems about 4.5 feet long, but he's sitting up, and he's like, It is cold out here tonight. Do you mind, perhaps, if I join you at your fire?
Well, if you stay way over there.
And you point off in the distance, or?
Well, it's like the other side of the fire away from us.
Oh, okay. Certainly. Thank you. We've been traveling. I mean, I've been traveling for quite some time, and I meant I've been traveling, and he starts working his way over to the fire. I'm just tired. I can't think straight. Where are you heading to?
Oh, here and there.
He goes over to the other side of the fire, lays down and just kind of curls up, and kind of has an eye slightly open, just kind of watching to make sure everything seems okay. And before long, you hear a slight subtle snoring coming from him. Do you do anything?
Stay awake.
Okay.
Keep watch.
The end of your shift comes up, and you wake up Galaron.
Yeah, inform him we have a new friend.
Oh, what's his name?
I don't know.
Yeah.
He came up in the middle of the night wanting to know if he could curl up next to the fire. I figured since we were just taking anybody, we might as well take him too.
Yeah, might as well.
You all know that persinnolites...
He seems a little shifty.
Persinnolites live in almost all of the forests within Revilo. There's some in the floating forest. There's some in the Valley of Despair. They're a pretty prevalent species, and there's not a lot. They're just kind of all over the place. So, and their personalities range, just like any of your existing species. So, Galaron, your shift goes by uneventful. At some point towards the end of it, the Persinnolite starts to wake up, rubs his eyes, looks around to try and see who's awake, and sees you.
Good morning.
Hello. He continues to rub his eyes as though he's not quite fully awake yet.
What's your name?
I'm Corey.
Corey, I'm Galrin. Pleasure to meet you.
As pleasure to meet you as well. It's been a long journey. Where are you traveling to?
We're traveling north. How about you? Where have you come from?
I've been traveling all over. It's but most recently down by south of the floating forest, down by the marsh. But currently traveling up towards to the Great Conclave.
We're headed toward the great road that goes toward the Conclave.
Yes. We are not too far off now. We had accidentally made a slight detour and realized that I was not on track for the road because there were some gray scrolls that we had seen. I had seen, and so I veered off to the left and then I'm now working back towards the road. So I would keep an eye out for them because I don't know why gray squirrels are about all the way over here.
Are you traveling alone?
Yes. You see Corey just kind of try and size you up to try and like get a read on you, and he's like, "Yes, I'm traveling alone at the moment."
Well, that's can be quite dangerous.
Yes, it can. That's why I saw the fire, and something told me that there would be friendly faces here. I don't know why exactly, but although I'd never seen the gentleman that greeted me, I've only seen a couple of people from the other land, and I'd never seen one quite like him before. And all of a sudden, Corey catches a look at Kolb and is like, "I've never seen a Grinotar that's red either. Interesting traveling companions." Right about this time, it's starting like the suns are starting to come up. So you guys, Erzor, Duke, you may wake up on your own. Kolb is starting to wake up as well.
Okay. Yeah.
You notice, you see a Persinnolite sitting there, just chatting away with Galaron.
Oh, hello,
Meet our new friend, Corey.
Corey. Erzor Wimpledorf. Pleasure to meet you.
Erzor, pleasure as well.
I stick out my hand to shake.
He gets up and shakes and then gets back down on all fours. So interesting. So you're all traveling together. Have you known each other for long?
Some of us longer than others.
I don't know these people yet. Really.
You don't?
We're just going on a road trip to the ReaperCon, you know.
Oh, the Great Conclave. Yes.
Yes,
So-
the Great Conclave.
He starts to look, and do you have the vial around your chest?
Oh yeah.
He starts to
Sleep
look
with it,
over.
probably.
Yeah, he looks over at it, and he kind of looks over his shoulder, and then looks back at it, and then a few seconds later, it starts to glow even brighter. That's strange what you have on your chest.
It seems to like you.
Do you you guys do a notice check, all of you?
All of us.
Yep. Against a good 3.
I got a 3.
That's a
Go.
1 for me.
Go.
I got a 5.
Okay.
Nice. Good roll.
Excellent. The Duke, you notice and Heath, you sense something's off, but you can't quite figure out what it is. The Duke, you notice about a foot away from Makari that there is a slight whitish glow, probably about 2 inches long and about an inch wide, probably 2 feet off the ground. Just a really slight, really small glow. Everything else around, it's just kind of like it's hovering, floating in thin air, and then as soon as you kind of lock in on it, it disappears. Almost
Where was
some. It was like if I'm Corey, then about a foot to the right of him, and then about 2 feet off the ground. It's just a kind of almost like a UFO type weird light, and then it's gone.
Interesting. And my thing is glowing, flashing brighter.
It was glowing brighter, yeah.
Okay. I don't know what that means. I think it means it likes you.
Perhaps. It's weird to see some liquid thing like someone, but who knows?
It does very strange things.
He reaches into his bag and pulls out a metal can, twists it open, and pulls out some small fish that's in an oil type base. Can I off? I don't have a lot, but can I offer a fish? And he.
Oh, thank you. I've got or speaking for myself, we've got rations with us.
Does Urzor
I'm
have?
sure Yurt would love some.
Yeah. Does Urzor have rations on him?
You would have some traveling rations, but not a whole lot. So you would have
Okay.
enough. He eats another. He's like, "Who's Yurt?"
I've got
And then
some things.
Yurt is still hard sleeping the long night off.
Right.
While
I
he's
think
doing
that's
that, I'm
Yurt.
gonna
Yes, he's a jackass.
nudge over to Galron and ask him if he saw the little shiny thing.
Yes, I did.
What shiny thing?
Well, you probably didn't hear that.
As you're doing that, he kind of
I
turns
didn't
and
notice.
just
I rolled both.
and sneezes and then turns back.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I mean
Bless you.
Kari does that. He's like all of a sudden and then turns back.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I
Thank
don't
you.
trust him.
Do you say that?
Oh, come on.
I'm whispering to Galron.
Gotcha. Okay.
By your indication, you're talking the him is Corey there?
Yeah. He told me that he was by himself, but unless he talks about himself in the first person plural on the often chances, he kept saying we.
You do that all the time, Duke. You talk about yourself in first person all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying off the side again. Yeah, I think he's not telling us the whole story.
That could just be a vocal tick.
The
I'm sure
just
he's fine.
to catch you up, Kolb. When you guys made camp, in one of the shifts, a Persinolite showed up and just looking for some warmth, wanting to be able to get some fire, and he's been talking, and here the Persinolite blue-ish creature, and so he has. He's just kind of sitting around eating some fish he pulled out of a can out of the fire, and he's heading up to the Great Conclave as well. So, you guys can you can continue chatting with him, and one thing that you could do, you could do an empathy check to see if you can tell if he's lying, just kind of see if you feel that he's lying, or you can just keep seeing how things go.
Well, I don't have
I
that
would
kind
like
of
my
I do not have
Panakal
empathy either.
Or if somebody has deceive, like you could probably also roll
Yeah.
it again, like maybe try to detect that, or
Yeah, you can do that as well.
I have a fair.
I got
deceive.
deceive.
we
Yeah.
probably should have done that with Yurt as well. I didn't think about that.
Yep, totally. So,
I have a fair deceive, but I don't know that Urzor is suspicious.
yeah, I don't think Urzor would be suspicious. But the Duke, since you are already suspicious, I think just in normal conversation with him, if you want to just chat with him and then contest that, I think that would be totally cool. So,
And I want to use my con man stunt.
excellent. Well done.
Give me
Okay.
a bonus to detecting lies or
Okay.
reading body language.
Yep.
How do you know what he is? I'm trying to look him up.
He's a Persinolite. Procynolite. I hope I spelled that right.
Okay, yeah, I was. Okay, that's why I couldn't find it. Okay, all right.
Yep. Nothing's easy in my world.
Yeah. It's how it's spelled. It's how it sounds.
Right.
Come on.
He looks over. So the Duke, do you start chatting him up? Chatting up Kari.
General chit chat.
Okay. Go ahead and roll the check with Con Man.
So I ended up with a 6.
Okay. You were way above succeeding with style because Kari got a -1, so you beat him by 6. So you are gonna be able to read him. I'm gonna go ahead, instead of just getting one boost, go ahead and get 2 boosts so that if you want to try and read him 2 other times, you can totally get another +2 to those. So through the conversation, you definitely pick up that he is talking about it's not just him that's in his traveling party. You don't feel that there's any sort of like ill intent with his conversation. Like, it doesn't seem like he's like trying to ambush you or lure you into anything. It seems almost more just protective and being wary of travelers.
Okay.
Okay, I won't push it for now.
Okay. So the morning has begun. Would you mind if I travel with you, at least to the main road? I mean, we're heading the same way, and I don't think I will slow you down at all.
No, you won't. You shouldn't slow us down. I look, kind of indicate the guy with the cart. So that,
there's someone under there? I did not even see that. Oh, he looks very similar to you, the Duke. That was your name, right?
We
Yes,
call him Dookie.
I am the Duke. My friends call me Fergal. You can call me the.
Okay. Well, right about then, Yurt starts getting up, starts stretching. That was a good sleep. And he stretches. You hear some like cracks and pops as he's really trying to stretch out a little bit. Does anyone want to share some breakfast with me before?
All over it. Before he even got it out, I was offering him some. I guess I have like hardtack.
Okay,
something like that. Something, not great, but edible.
Erzor, this is delicious. You are a good man. All right, so onward to the road, he says.
I'm ready.
You will pull us. We will ride.
This cart is full of goods.
No.
It doesn't need to have your weight in it as well.
I haven't been.
No, but Erzor was riding the entire time yesterday.
Do you think you could make it? You had said that, but do you think we're going to try and make a full day's journey? Do you want to maybe walk a little bit so it's not so exhausting on me? I mean, the breakfast is delicious.
I can't walk. When I was young, I could barely move fast enough to keep up. Now I sure as hells can't.
All right, climb aboard. And he starts taking the cart.
Awkwardly scramble up into the cart. Yeah.
You guys travel for a couple of hours before you hit where you're starting to come up upon. You can see where the road meets, and you can see where the river kind of goes off just a little bit past the road. Southbound, you can see smoke coming up, probably a few hours travel from the south, where there must be a lot of campfires going on or just being extinguished. And now up to the north, looking far, far, far off in the north, you know that you can see... You start to see what looks like is probably the desert, and way off in the distance you can see little bits of gray hanging in the air. Now, the Kari had warned about there being gray squirrels to the south, and that's why he had kind of veered to the left and it was heading north. As you get to the road, he's like, I can leave you, or we can keep walking together. I can slow my pace down a little bit, or I can speed it up, whichever you prefer. But since we're both heading northbound, I don't see any real reason for us to part ways.
Well, we're probably going to encounter a lot of people like this on the road now. That
Yes.
You tend to fall in and, walk together on a road together. So, I mean, there's no reason that he needs to go away. I mean, I don't think that. I mean, it's going to be on a public road.
Awkward, really. It's like when you say goodbye and you leave the tavern and then you walk in the same direction. It's that sort of thing.
Right.
It's just
exactly. Yeah, I know. It's going to be that situation a lot with a bunch of people now, I think. So
you guys
you
continue.
might as well hang with us.
Well, thank you. I'm very curious to see what what comes about at the Conclave this year. I know there's been a lot of discussion with what's happening with so many gray scrolls being present. And, are you going to find out what will transpire in the land for the year to come, or are you going for the great bazaar that's happening outside?
Were we delivering information to the Conclave? We had stuff to tell them, right?
You were going about your arm thing that Cole had found a cure for.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
yep.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had yeah.
So yes, we're going for the bazaar.
Yes.
Good. I know they have lots of very interesting things there. I have some. I'm very much looking forward to hearing what all of the Reapers discuss, because I'm sure there's going to be lots of good things to learn.
They're known to be very wise.
They are indeed.
Yeah, I'm looking for a floating shiny thing myself.
A floating shiny thing.
Floating shiny thing.
Yeah.
I've not heard of
We
such a
didn't
thing.
say that. You're just looking, right?
Okay.
What?
No,
Or did you say
he said
that? Or
Did you say? Are you?
Yeah, I
like,
said that. Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
calling them out?
okay. I thought
know-
you were just
I know what you're
on the
pulling.
lookout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is
You know,
it?
wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Can you tell me more about a floaty shiny thing?
I'll know it when I see it.
Okay.
It kind of floats about yay high. Flips around.
So I assume that, like, moving forward, you're pretty much going to have your eyes on him most of the time, just to see if anything weird happens, Duke.
Yeah.
Got. All right. You guys continue traveling north. There every now and again you'll see a cart being pulled heading southbound, but it's over the course of the day, not a lot of that, because it seems like everybody seems to be heading north. You did get to around midday. You've passed a couple of small groups of people that seem to have stopped to take a little bit of break in their travels. Most of these have been groblins and Dryadamus that you've seen, just fairly common species. Kolb, you get some strange looks because most folks have never seen a red goblin before, but you've grown accustomed to that. Duke, you get some strange looks as well, because a lot of people this far west haven't seen Outlanders, and not only that, but then you've got you, and then there's also Yurt that's pulling the cart as well. Right around a little after the noon-ish time area, Duke, you hear a sneeze that wasn't Kari, but it was like almost like right beside him.
I just look at him and give him a wink.
And he just gives a strange, quizzical look and keeps walking. And then just a little bit
We have
later.
some magic mushrooms that appear now.
But say that again.
I think we have some magic mushrooms that may cure your sneeze.
That is not my sneeze, but she is just being safe. And then just like a minute or two later, Irzor, you feel something like kind of brush by you, and just kind of like
And it's just like a phantom
yes,
thing.
yep, like
Like funny.
phantom fur.
A phantom fur. Ooh, that feels nice. What the hell's? Yeah, there's nothing there.
And you keep traveling.
I guess I checked for my thing. 'Cause it's a very strange thing to have happen.
As you do that, you notice that it's glowing brighter now.
Why?
are there additional set of footprints?
Do you look to try and investigate for some more footprints in the? This is kind of like a packed down road. It's a dirt road, but
Do
it's
I
fairly
know that-
packed down.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. All
I mean,
right.
I mean,
It
Probably
you
does.
I mean, if you're looking for it, yes, you could definitely look for that.
Would they be like notice?
That would be if you have investigate. It would be investigate. If you don't have investigate, it would be notice. It's just going to be harder with
What-
notice because what's that?
What happens if I'm better at notice?
Okay, so the way it balances out really, because notice is meant to be like all of a sudden I noticed this. Investigate's really putting the time into it and really looking for more details. So if you were just kind of glancing by, you might see like a little bit of dust come up and a paw print. So go ahead, you can roll the notice, but I'm going to make it harder for notice.
I could do investigate. I'm only one step down.
Yeah.
So.
Would Urzo know to consider invisibility as like an option?
No, definitely not.
No? Okay. Well, then I'm not going to look down. That doesn't make sense.
Okay.
I'd be at 3, Brian.
Okay.
On investigate.
Gotcha. You see some really light, like small paw prints, kind of along the lines of where what would be next to Corey, but you're not sure what to make of them.
So I'd point them out and just be like, looks like small paw prints right here.
Yes, this road is well traveled. Yes, yes.
Then Corey goes, Thalia, you can reveal yourself. It's okay. They're not going to do anything. When that happens, let's see. Let me go up. When that happens, Thalia appears on the cart, just behind Erzor. She's about 2.5 feet tall. She doesn't have a lock in her chest like Keepers of Secrets do. That's just the sculpture. So, but she does have a like kind of almost a pearlescent jewel in her forehead.
Oh my! I see her at this point clearly. Right.
Yeah. So this is not anything that anyone from Revilo proper has seen. The Duke, you recognize this as a Hassanaval. That's the name of the species, and they are actually from the land that you're from.
Oh, so she is not a...
She's not a Revilo. Okay.
No, she's not. She is a Hassanaval.
She's a Hassanaval. Okay.
So, and then she looks up, looks at everyone, and then just kind of curls down onto one of the blankets that's covering up some of the gear that's in the wagon.
Another traveler with us.
Oh yes.
Sorry that she was staying unseen. She's wary of new people, and it's just a natural defense that she has to try and make sure that she stays safe.
It's well understood. I'm glad that she feels comfortable here. Welcome, little one. I know you've been here the whole time, but now I can see you and say welcome.
Thank you, Erzor. Erzor, right? I'm Thalia.
Last I checked.
Interesting.
Thalia?
Thalia.
Thalia?
Thaila.
Okay. Cool.
With yeah.
Thalia.
Yep.
Gotcha. That is illegible. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
I don't think I've seen much in the way of people like you from in the desert. I've heard of you, but I haven't really spent any time with the Sorcia.
Well, they're all exactly like me.
Interesting. So
what do you wish to accomplish at the Reaper Conclave?
I'm just hoping to learn more and see if any more of my kind have come over, since many more boats have been traveling to this land.
Yes, well, I'm going to see what this thing on my neck is all about. It's been doing some crazy things lately.
Interesting. And you're go ahead.
What was on his neck? I'm sorry, I missed
Oh.
that part.
He's got a vial that's kind of glowing blue, and it got glowed. The glowing got even brighter when he was near Corey earlier.
Okay.
And it attracts
So
trees.
it's like a vial that has
Yes.
liquid in it.
Almost like a neon bluish glow stick sort of thing, but it kind of radiates a little bit brighter. When you were down underneath the trees, when you had fallen in underground in the Forest of the Dead, that was a blue kind of weird pulsating light that drew you up and kind of gave you a place to start digging to try and find your way out from underneath the ground.
Gotcha.
So you continue traveling. Traveling northbound, and you get most of the way through the day, and then all of a sudden, like, Thalia jumps off the wagon, runs over to Corey, climbs up onto Corey's back, and then disappears.
They both do?
No, she does, and Corey looks over, and I think up ahead there may be a couple of gray scrolls. So,
whoa!
So, from what you guys know, gray scrolls primarily live in the Badlands in the southwest, but they have been making their way northbound. They've been branching out all over the continent, trying to get a stronger foothold within the different areas, and they definitely have been doing a lot more raiding and trying to take over a bit more. They have even recently, on the recent coin minting in Merc's Hollow, Merc even put the face of a gray scroll on the front side of the coin, which has been unheard of because there has never been any coinage with a gray scroll on it.
Right. What should we do about this? I know what gray scrolls are, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Or Urzor. Yeah.
Yeah.
These fellows are bad news.
Um,
And
They
I'll
will want to fight
yeah.
us. They will want to fight us if they see us. It's a gray scroll thing.
and for the viewers at home, screen share. So, gray scrolls were they were part of the original Reapers that were in the Icy Divide, and at one point they started worshiping Gray Scroll himself. The first of his name started worshiping Girma, Credona, her sister. So like the antithesis of Credona. And when they found out that they were worshiping her, they got exiled from the Icy Divide. They wandered and wandered until they found themselves in the Badlands, that's where they evolved and changed, and they then grew a stronger hatred for all the other Reapers because they were no longer Reapers and they were exiled, and that kind of then transferred out to and growing to a hatred of pretty much everybody else on the continent.
Yes, as I was saying, that makes them bad news. All those things I just explained.
Yes. So what would you guys like to do? You can see, like, it's not that far ahead. It's almost like they've kind of created a strange, like, checkpoint almost in the road because
like a roadblock.
Yeah, exactly.
well, I was going to ask what other people are doing. Like, are there other people around on the road with us right now?
You had kind of pulled ahead of most everybody, so the people that were ahead of you had kind of gone over a hill, and this is like they had been up over a hill, and this is the first time you're seeing anything, so you can't really see past where the gray scrolls are. So there's nobody else up ahead.
Is there anywhere to try to go around or hide around?
We've got how many of them?
Or is it
How many
open?
are there? Yeah. How many do we see?
So it looks like there's probably 3 of them up ahead. And let me get to the map so that I can see if there's something that you can do.
Yeah. There are probably more that we don't see. That's how Grey Scrolls do.
Well, I could work something that would be like a diversion, or we could do something that would blows up or smoke.
What are you talking about?
All the things that I throw.
Blowing things up with smoke.
Oh, you throw smoke. Or you blow smoke.
Mostly throw.
Mostly throw it. Okay.
Mostly throw.
Corey goes over to look over, like gets a little closer to the river edge to just try and look and see if there's anything that way. I don't think swimming across and then getting past them would do any good.
The Duke can talk his way through this.
Good luck.
What about the rest of you?
Grey Scrolls don't like to talk. They like to fight. We'll see. We'll see.
But you know that there have been more Grey Scrolls in Merk's Hollow. Perhaps we can talk our way through this, right, Duke? Together, we could work our way through this. Do you guys want to maybe?
Can I like sense? What is it? It's not sense motive. What is it?
That would be deceive or empathy, one of the two.
Okay, I've got better deceive.
Okay.
So I'm gonna see if he's full of crap.
Okay.
Ooh. That is a +1, 3 neutral. No, wait. It's pure neutral. Sorry, I'm using regular d6s.
Okay.
Math is hard. And I have a +2 by default.
Okay, so you think that he thinks he genuinely can talk his way through this checkpoint.
Well, if you think you can do it, you're not just trying to get us all killed so you can escape.
Duke, what do you say?
I say he's just trying to get us killed so he can escape.
But if I get you killed, then I'll get me killed. Why, that will do me no good.
That's probably true.
Well, unless he's, working with them, and I'll just wonder.
I highly doubt that he anticipated being used as a jackass and being led this way.
No, I cannot think that quickly on my feet.
It would be very elaborate plan, and forgive me for saying so, jackass, but you're not capable of elaborate plans, I don't think.
No, I'm not. You are so right.
Are they wearing any type of... I mean, there are other Grey Scrolls other than those that might be working for the Baron, right?
Right. You could assume that, yes.
Okay, they're not wearing... Are they wearing any type of emblem or symbol that might identify what group they belong to or anything like that?
Not from the distance that you're at.
Okay.
They're basically like barbarian tribes. Like they're just like wild and normally aren't in the pay of, right? I mean,
right. Almost think of them like Huns, like they're Huns, okay. or think of them like the what's it, from Game of Thrones, like Khal Drogo and
the Dothraki.
The Dothraki. Yeah. They're more like barbaric raiding parties, and they take what they want and.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, they're probably going to want stuff.
We
can try to talk
everything.
through.
Yes. Or they're going to want to fight us. Anyone think you can maybe a 1v1? Anyone could win a 1v1? Not it.
I like that Cole pulls out a giant bag of coins.
Nice. If you want to give them that giant sack of coin, that's on you. You get to pay the toll.
Got plenty.
Yes.
I think we can find our way through. But the more we just stand here looking like there's something going on.
Oh, they're going to come and mess with us here soon, I would imagine. We're
Well, are they
sitting in the middle of the road, right?
We outnumber them what? 2 to 1, easy.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Yep, 2 to 1.
That
Like
we
if
can
you count Thalia, then it's 7 to 1. Or yeah, it's
Well,
a
we've
little
also
more than
got-
2.
Xenos is with us too.
Oh, yes.
Xenos is with us.
So there are a lot of us.
Yep.
He's snoring in the
this
back.
Yep.
This shouldn't be a problem. This shouldn't be a
Back.
problem for the expertise of the Duke.
All right. So you guys travel up towards. Keep heading up that way.
Yeah.
As you get up there, as you get closer, you see that there is a gray scroll on either side of the road, and then one standing right in the middle. You can see next to them there is a small wagon, and then just sacks and sacks of stuff filled with them all around on the side of the road. And there's a couple of sticks hung up with some small game that are kind of bleeding out, like somebody had just gone and recently gone on a quick hunt and picked up what they're going to be having for dinner.
I want to hang back far enough that if things go badly, I'm going to be shooting.
Can run.
That I'm not standing right next to them with my bow. I want to be at a range.
Okay. As you come up, you see one just kind of standing in the middle. Stop! Stop! You have to pay a toll to get through this road.
What is the toll, my good man?
What are you taking to the bazaar?
Nothing.
I'm taking a jackass.
Did you say nothing? Let me see what's in your cart. And he gives a snarl.
I would like to see. Do you have a warrant?
A what?
Never mind.
Actually, my good Star Wares, you have to pay the toll to see our stuff before we can pay your toll.
What are you talking about? What toll to pay your toll?
Well, if you would like to see what we have in our cart, you have to pay us to open up shop.
Right, it's the inspection toll.
I've never heard of such a thing. That doesn't work. No, that can't be real.
Your toll isn't working for me, so if you just move aside by the power of the Gray Scrolls, we will be on our way.
While this conversation is going on, it dawns on Urzor that he needs to stow that glowy thing around his neck, and he tries to do so very discreetly.
Okay. Okay, so this is the first time I actually have rolled really well, where I got all pluses.
Oh no!
We'll pay the toll, but what is that? What is that thing?
Well, you got to pay the toll to see that.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's an entirely different toll.
You don't
That-
put that. You don't put that
You're
away.
asking for information, and information does not come free.
It's nothing. It is nothing. just a bit of shiny liquid.
I've got Duke. I've got 2 investigation tolls, a holding toll, and just a convenience toll right now. That's 4 tolls we're up to right now.
Not to mention the examination of the nothing toll.
I'm gonna compel you to use the tongue is mightier than the sword aspect that you have, Duke, in this conversation,
Oh, great.
and I want you to roll to convince them to. So add that onto your deceive, to or either deceive or rapport. No, do rapport for this to talk them into paying the toll. I think you.
Came out with a +1 on the dice, so 4.
Plus the +2 of the tongue is mightier than the sword, so that gets you another big 6 against my -1. So that gives you. So not only are they willing to pay all the tolls that you have said so far. So how much do we owe to see what's inside?
How much do you have?
No. There was a number. It was 1, 2, 2, 2. Oh wait, hang
3,
on.
4,
That's a gully dwarf. 50? No, it can't be that
50.
much.
50%.
It
Right?
is. It is.
It's percentages.
There's a lot of stuff in there. We work out percentages.
This is too much math.
50% of everything.
Let us just see what that shiny blue thing was, and you can pass.
Well, we have to inspect your cart to make sure that we're paying the fair enough
Yeah,
toll.
we have to make sure you can
on the
afford
tax.
to see it first.
Oh, this is so confusing.
I know. I hate taxes myself, but I don't make the rules. I just enforce them.
No, what do you have any Mercs? Do you have any coinage with Merc's stamp on it? You probably wouldn't.
I'll say
No.
Yeah.
Although
we have
the Duke might have some, and sorry, I think your audio is breaking up,
Merc.
Duke.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Is it?
there maybe not. I thought you were saying something.
Oh.
If you have Merc money, we will trade that for you at a good rate. And then he
Why would he want that fake money?
fake money. That's the only money with a true gray scroll on it. And he goes over and he starts opening up the cart that he has, and he's like, "Okay, you inspect our cart, and then we inspect your cart, right?"
Well, there's also the convenience fees and the detaining fees.
Well, yes. Let me get up to it, and I start rolling the cart. I get the guy to pull the cart forward a bit more, kind of even with their cart.
Okay.
Kolb's just diving in. I'm going looking.
Okay.
He's just walking right in.
And I slowly continue on.
Like keep moving your cart forward. Okay. So you're diving in, and there is just like a little bit of everything, because they must have been set up shop here for at least a day or two, and have just been bullying every passerby out of a little bit of all of their stash. As you're going through, Galeron, make a notice check, since you were lingering back.
Okay.
Against a 2. Oh, okay. So
I rolled a 2. Yeah.
Okay, so you got 2 against the 2 that was the difficulty. You see 2 more gray scrolls coming up from just up the river a little bit, with sticks and fish stacked, like large fish stacked on top, like they were spearing fish. And
They're on foot though. They're not
Yeah.
like on a boat.
no,
Like
no, they're on foot,
Yeah.
but they're coming towards you, and that they're starting to like, you can see that they're almost bowing up and getting more ready for some sort of combat, because they see people going through their cart.
Okay. And I don't think anybody else has seen this up front. Like
No, because they're all engaged in what's going on.
So this is like to their right. I'm gonna say something. Get my bow out, and guys to your right, and draw their attention to the fact that there's more guys coming in.
And as soon as Kolb hears that, he looks to the right of the cart.
Yeah.
And you see those two. You see these 2 new gray scrolls coming your way.
No, inside the cart.
Deeper inside there, you see more gems and riches and very rare pieces that you know are worth lots of money. Like these.
Yeah, I'm just throwing those out to the Duke.
Gotcha. Duke, you're just have a bag opener and you're stacking stuff up. That must be enough of the taxes. Taxes.
I think we're good.
Yeah,
Well,
that'll do.
By this point, Urzor is, 50 yards away.
Yeah, you're far
I say
enough
that?
ahead that you saw, like, as you're passing, the other gray scrolls came up the bank behind where you were, so that they're in between where you are And Kari went and was walking beside you and just kept on going.
All right. If I think they're walking through, I'm walking. I'm going to start walking too.
Okay.
I give a whistle, best I can, just a real shrill, loud whistle.
Well,
Get
gentlemen,
folks' attention.
it was pleasure doing business with you. Thank you for paying your taxes, and we'll be off. You can
keep up
pass.
the good work.
Have a good bazaar. And you guys pass on through. About like 2 minutes later, you guys, I assume, are walking at a brisk pace. About like 2 minutes later, you start to hear yelling behind you as the new Grey Scrolls are obviously yelling at the ones that were there. And
You might want to pick up the pace now.
and you start to hear
Cold, that would be our cue to run.
some running behind you. And what's that?
I'm going to look behind me.
Okay. You turn around and look behind, and you see 3 of the Grey Scrolls coming your way. The 2 that were coming up the bank, as well as one of the other ones. And you look back and you see one of the other Grey Scrolls is kind of lying on the ground, like trying to pick himself up.
He's got his ass whooped.
Yep.
Dang.
And you hear some loud kind of battle cries, very kind of nasty sounding warlike cries as they're running as quick as they can towards you guys.
Well,
Okay, I'm going to knock an arrow in my bow and take an action whenever my next opportunity is to try to aim, get an advantage on if there's one that looks particularly vicious.
Okay, let's go ahead and everybody roll a notice check, and that'll get us in order for the combat.
I'm on 3.
Okay.
I'm on
0.
dose.
Was that Erzor that said dose?
3.
Okay.
No, Drew.
Drew? Okay.
Kolb.
And
Erzor
Duke,
had-
you said 3? Sure.
The Duke says 3, but he's willing to negotiate.
Okay. Erzor, what do you say?
0.
Okay.
Flat neutral. Yep.
Erzor, and then Grey Scrolls. Okay. So Duke and Galron, you can go at the same time. All of a sudden, like as soon as they start coming up on you, you notice Kari just like disappear as well. And
Well, that's
I
gonna
need
be
to learn that.
yep. So you can go ahead and put an arrow in your bow this round. Duke, what are you going to do this round?
Hey, yo, parlay.
Excellent. And then Kolb, what are you doing this round?
Does the parlay seem to work?
They are still like charging up, so we'll see. Because if you want to hold your action for now, you can do that.
Knowing that Heath's about to throw or shoot an arrow, I'll hold.
Okay. And they right like after you say parlay, they're like, "Give us our riches," and they just like they're running and they start like pulling their swords up behind their heads as they continue to run towards you. Erzor.
So I suppose we're stopping. Or are we going to keep going? And I halt him, and I climb to the back of the cart, and just wait.
And as soon as you move to the back of the cart, he starts running.
What?
You're like as fast as he can with his feet like tied together. He's running off towards the river.
Okay.
Told you
So
we should have tied him up.
Kolb, you said you were kind of basically holding. Do you want
After-
Do I need to... Okay, go ahead. Do I need to see if I fly off the back of the cart?
No, you're okay. It's got good balance. It's balanced. Well,
Okay.
yeah, no, okay. Go ahead. Do an athletics roll.
Well, but you're not running. He dropped. The
Oh, he
cart.
dropped
You're
it,
not,
so you
like,
you might
hurtling
roll
with him.
forward.
Drop the cart.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, the cart? That doesn't make any sense.
No,
Okay,
he
cool.
dropped. He let go and then he ran off.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it's a balanced cart. I see.
Yep.
I'm looking to throw a smoke after he shoots his arrow.
Okay, okay. So we're at the top of the round then. So Duke and Galeron, you go at the same time. You're gonna shoot an arrow.
Yep.
Let's see.
Now, was I able to aim?
Yeah, you can aim. You could have aimed that last time.
Okay. Well, then I'm looking at an 8.
That's
Dang.
awesome.
Wow.
Especially I got a 5, so even with the 8 you still succeeded. Even with my 5 you still succeeded with style. So you also did you just shot an arrow and just went right straight into the throat. All of a sudden it went clean through and there's just blood spurting everywhere as that gray scroll just kind of falls to the ground.
Your turn, guys.
Well done.
Well, I'm
the
not
Duke?
gonna be able to beat that one.
Yep. The Duke, what are you doing?
Can we talk about this?
You see,
I'm trying to use the fact that he just dropped one of their friends with one shot.
Yep. He just looks down and goes, "Never!" and keeps running towards you guys. Because they're closing in since you still have a little bit of range on them.
I think they forgot to pay a tax, Duke.
What's that?
Said I think they forgot to pay a tax, Duke, and they're coming to pay us more.
Nice, Colbert.
Well, there's a death tax.
Excellent, Colb. What are you doing? Are you gonna throw some smoke?
Smoke.
Go.
Yep.
Are you trying to hit any of them, or just have it land in front of their general space?
Try to have it in front of their general space
Okay.
just to spook them. I rolled 3 negatives and I have a 3 for projectiles, so I'm at even.
Okay. You throw it, and it hits down, but it's just off to them, so the smoke goes up, almost beside them. So it's it didn't slow their charge whatsoever. The two of them close in this round, and they one of them throws his sword at Galeron.
So I need to roll athletics.
Yes, roll in athletics. Thank you. And beat a 1 or.
Well, if it's that, I rolled neutral, so I'm at 3.
Okay, yeah. So I rolled a -3, and then, I rolled a -2 plus their 3, so I got a 1. So he threw the sword. It's flying through the air. It's spinning because it's got a nice curve to it. You can almost hear it starting to whistle, and it just kind of zooms right by your head and goes deep into the ground behind you. The other one is keeping his sword as he runs up to try and attack the next round. Erzor?
How are they positioned? Are they back to back? Or are they side by side?
Let me kind of doodle it out quickly.
Okay.
That way it'll kind of
Sorry.
help. No, that would probably help. So, Galron, Kolb, Duke.
Well,
Okay.
I'm going to. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So we have the cart here, right? With you on top of the cart. We have Galeron, Duke, Kolb. We have Gray Scroll. Then we have Gray Scroll spurting blood laying on the ground.
Cool. And I'm sort of above them because I'm standing on the cart.
Mm-hmm.
I'm quite short. Okay. Well, I'm going to. What is it? Still New to Fate. I'm going to invoke Too Smart for My Own Good,
Uh-huh.
and I'm going to withdraw a magnifying glass, and I'm going to focus the light. Do what I did before to Leopard, but I'm going to focus the light and use. I will use conjure and whatever else I need to do to make it badass.
Okay.
At one of the gray scrolls, if I may.
Okay.
Or both, if it's big enough. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just trying to
go ahead and roll it, and just roll the +2 for invoking it, and then do the conjure, because I think because you'll be out of fate points just because we didn't refresh at the beginning of this because it just kind of rolled straight.
We didn't.
Oh no, actually no, we would have refreshed. So no, you're good. Go ahead and do both of them. So you get a +4, and then plus your conjure to roll, and we'll see what you get.
Plus 4, so minus. Oh wait, it's neutral. -1 for my roll.
Okay.
So it was a plus. What was it again? Sorry. It was my +2 for conjure, +2 for my invoke, -1. So that's 3.
Okay. You hold the light. You hold the flask. You use the magnifying glass, and the light comes in and just goes right into one of their eyes, and it's the one that had the sword in his hand. He just kind of drops the sword and doesn't really know what to do, and just is like he's essentially blinded.
That works. Finish him up.
And
they're both disarmed now.
Okay. That brings us to the Duke and Galron.
Okay.
Did Kolb go?
I did.
Yep. He threw a smoke bomb.
Oh, that was this round? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
It looks like a Pink Floyd laser light show right now.
Yep. So
okay. Oh.
They're within melee combat now, or you could even step back and shoot another arrow.
Well, I'll step back and shoot.
And Duke, what would you like to do? Since they don't seem to be parlaying.
The Duke is going to kick at the sword that's on the ground next to him.
Okay.
And kind of point at the other one and laugh and try to provoke him into doing something to give someone an advantage on the next attack.
Awesome.
You're such a pacifist.
Excellent. Okay, so
well, try provoke. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so go ahead and do the provoke roll, and you just kick the sword, and it goes way out of the way of the gray scroll. So it's going to be he's going to lose a whole turn if he wants to try and go grab it.
So I came out neutral on the dice. So
Sorry, the sound broke out. I heard neutral on the dice, but then I didn't hear anything after that.
Oh, my total was a 3.
Okay. That gray scroll is totally distracted by you, so anybody that attacks that gray scroll next gets a +2 bonus.
Cool.
All right, well then I'm shooting.
Okay, go ahead and shoot.
Oh, same thing. 6.
Okay.
Jeez.
No, 8. 8. You just
8?
+2 because of what you just said because he's distracted, right?
Yep.
So I got 2.
Right.
Awesome. Okay.
I'm
Hey,
+4,
nice.
and then so I'm at another 8.
Okay. So you're 8 against his 3 gets you a 5. So you succeeded with style again. Yet another arrow goes clean through a gray scroll, and another gray scroll drops to the ground, bleeding out. And then that brings it to the last gray scroll that sees what's happening around him, and he just turns and starts running.
We need him. We need
Arizor?
a new jackass.
Or no, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Okay. Kolb, you get to go before he does that. Sorry about that.
I don't
sorry.
Yeah. My
I'm
bad.
gonna pull out a acid flask.
Okay.
Throw it right at his chest.
Okay. Awesome. You want to roll to throw it at him?
Yep. I've got right now a 5, Brian.
Okay. 5 against his 1. You splashed it at him, and it just like all of a sudden it just burns. Like something about this acid flask, you must have mixed this extra strong, or maybe something about the air over here so close to the desert is so dry that it just like starts sizzling directly on them. Or maybe you've never seen it affect a gray scroll before, but the second face that's on their chest just starts to freaking melt, and like you can see the internal organs behind it just like coming out, and it's just burning and searing. You can hear him screaming and wailing as he falls to the ground and dies.
Were they speaking from the face on their chest?
Yes, they were.
The face on the chest?
Yeah, sorry, I should have described that better. Yes, they speak from the face on their chest, and the one on top will bite if it gets close enough.
Well,
so
that was interesting.
I told him to parlay.
So there's one on the ground left that was getting up.
That one was down by where the outpost was.
Right down where the outpost
and there's
was.
There's actually two down there because there were a total of 5.
Yeah, total 2. One who was getting up plus the other one.
Yep. They don't seem to be coming your way.
We need to go back and collect the death tax.
But they've got a lot of things that probably people back at the bazaar are going to want. It's been taken from people.
That's very true. We have a problem, though. We lost our jackass.
Well, you were watching the jackass.
I was not. I was watching.
Well, then that's your fault. So you need to pull the cart.
That's not happening, friend.
Well, he might not.
That's a good point.
How far is he? I mean, I turn around and look for where Yurt is.
Okay. You look out and you see him just kind of floating downriver.
Tied
He
up.
jumped in the river?
Yeah, he jumped into the river.
We
Like
must
the
be really
the
bad
river.
to hang out with.
Yeah, so he's like trying to work his way back southbound because he's not very far. You could probably catch up with him.
He doesn't look like he's drowning.
No, it doesn't. No.
Okay.
Like his hands were free, so he can like tread just fine, and his legs have enough give, like he can paddle.
Okay.
I sort of feel like we should let him go.
As this happens, Kari reappears, pretty much where he was.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you guys for taking care of that.
Loot the bodies.
Okay.
Loot the bodies. Yeah.
You look at them. They have like bone skulls for like knee pads, like knee armor and stuff around their belt. Their clothing is very lots of furs and scraps of fabric that's kind of stitched together. They each have a small coin purse on them. Between the 3 of them, it's like 32 silver pieces. They each have a shield that is just kind of bad. It's shields that wouldn't really be worth much, and the swords themselves don't look like they're of any really fine quality. The majority of their valuables that they had would be back at that cart, which you've gotten about half of, or at least like a third of what was in there from your taxation.
Yeah.
I say we go back.
Clean them out.
Okay.
So that we can return it to the rightful owner at the bazaar.
Of course.
Because they're
Yeah.
labeled with their names and we'll know who it is.
Yes. That is how things work, after all.
Yes. Well, there may be different unique things in there that people will be able to identify. And plus, we don't know. And plus, I'm afraid if we leave those guys, someone else is going to be robbed and other people are going to be hurt.
And there is no beast of burden around, just like that they perhaps took as a tax.
No.
Worth asking.
Can't make it that easy.
No, you're right. Worth asking, though.
Yep, totally. All
All right, I say we drag these bodies back up there and tell them, look, just give us the cart and you're free to leave.
I will.
Okay.
I will stay here if you don't mind. That's what Kari says.
I almost think we're going to have to abandon the cart and just carry on foot.
we're gonna end up with 2 carts.
Yeah,
Right.
It's silly.
Yeah.
We can't even pull one.
But if you want to get all the stuff back, we're gonna need the second cart.
You could probably pile it all onto one cart. It would just be pretty darn full.
Right, and
Well, we
we've got a
should at
great
least go
speed
see
for
what's in
that.
it.
Yeah. Well, I've seen most of it.
No, that's true.
Yep. I mean, it'd definitely be of value to be able to take all what's left of it and put it on top of your cart. And as Galeron said, it might be worthwhile to not allow them to rob anyone else, but that's just dependent on your character.
Right. There are gray scrolls left, though.
There were 2. Yep, there was one that was beaten up by
There
the
were
other
2?
Gray Scrolls, and then one that was there, just kind of staying with the cart, so that nobody else would take off with what they had stolen.
Well, maybe there's a jackass over there. I point at those that are still alive.
Okay.
Yeah,
They did have to get that cart there somehow.
they did.
Okay, well then. Yeah, well, these guys are pretty big. I mean, to drag them back.
No, we only need one.
Okay,
That's true. We really just need one of them's heads.
okay.
if you
I'll grab
wanna get
one of
down
them
to
by
it.
the scruff, like a bit of their armor or something, and start to walk back to the other 2.
Okay. You head back. It only takes just a really very short while since they had ran up on you in just a couple of rounds. So the one looks pretty beaten up and kind of defeated. Some of the quills that jut out of his face are like broken off and fragmented from where they were before. The other one is just kind of standing there, and he's like, "Well, what do you want?"
Gentlemen,
For you to what did you say?
I said, gentlemen, we are here to renegotiate our tax proposition.
What's your new tax proposition?
You leave.
Well, first you assaulted us, and we're bringing back the dead bodies, so there's a charge for that. And then you have to repay him for the arrows that he lost. And then there's the emotional damage that you...
Oh yes, I'm very distraught.
So you
Emotional?
just leave.
He's soft.
He sees all you guys, and he looks at the one that's kind of beaten up and broken, and he just starts walking the other way down the road.
That's what I thought.
And the other one follows suit. So you now have all the goods of the other cart. It's now the end of this session, I think, because it's a good stopping point. It's also to the time. So
It's right at 11.
yeah. So I think this is a good breaking point, and you will have a lot of stuff and try and figure out how to haul it all up. It's probably going to slow you down a little bit as you work your way up to the Great Conclave. For everybody that's watching at home, thank you for tuning in today, and we will be back again very soon. Look at the description below for all the contact info for everybody that's been playing, and more about the world of Revilo, and should be able to do a Revilo recap this Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Norse Foundry YouTube channel, and soon be looking for a Twitch stream in the upcoming weeks. We'll keep you posted.